What up, fish people? Kenny E with Danica Aquatics. Hey guys, I'm coming to you from the upper level today. I've had a few of my subscriber requests that I do a fish room tour again. So I'm going to do this in two parts. I'm going to start on the upper level and then I'll do another video in the next day or so of the lower level. So without any further ado, this is our 55-gallon super red breeding colony. Then we also have some endlers in here. But in here I house most of our super red breeding colony. I did throw a couple of long fin albinos in here, hoping that maybe I can get them to breed and make some long fin albino crossbreeds with these super reds as well one day. We'll see how that goes. Right now though, it is a pure colony of super reds. I've probably got about, I'd say 100 to 200 of these babies now. There's one of the males. Got a little snail issue in this tank, as you can see, but they help keep everything at bay. So that's the super red colony. Down below here, I have a South American tank set up. This is a temporary tank. I'm getting eventually a 135 long for these guys, but we have different Vejas in here. I've got some Texas cichlids, a couple of real nice red motas, and then I've also got my two spare Salvini Rio Candelarias in here. I've got two spare females, and then I've got three little green tears left over from the breeding colony. So anyway, this guy's absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite fish we keep. I know, everybody says I have too many favorites. And there's one of the Texas cichlids. Then this Vieja here is just gorgeous. I love his fins. Matt, if you're watching, buddy, thanks again. I'm loving the fish that you hooked me up with. Can't wait to get these guys in a bigger tank. It's one of the projects I plan to work on here soon. Right now, they all seem to be getting along fine. I've got enough riffraff in here where they all have their own little territories. So I'm not having any carnage. So moving right along, guys, this is our breeding colony of Cyptochromis. These are at Lake Tinkanekan, and then I've got that guy's of an accident. I had Honduran red points in here, and apparently a stray egg did manage to get fertilized. So I'll be yanking him out of here, putting him in with the rest of the Hondurans. But these guys are fun fish to keep if you've never kept them. Sorry about the sunlight, guys. It's getting to be that time of day. So that's this. This is a 36-gallon bow front. Then next to them, we have our Ant Tetra and these cherry Tetras. These are a super rare strain. We are planning on breeding these one day. The Ant Tetra did kill his mate, and I cannot get a replacement for it, so I'm probably going to end up putting him in another tank, leave the other ones in here by themselves. The Ant Tetra is the one with the stripe there. We're keeping these guys right now in a 20 long. Get the glare off of there for you guys. Sorry about that. But these are cool little fish if you've never kept them. My wife likes her Tetras. Then in here, this is another 20-gallon long. I've got some Dragon Bloods. These little guys will be getting transferred to the 135 downstairs here. They're almost to the size where I don't have to worry about them getting ate. Wet Spot did put an order in with me, so I can finally get these guys in the 135 to finish getting their colors in and some size to them. Then down here, that's one of our hospital tanks. Right now I have this gal in there. She got really beat up. Then I've got my smaller one in here as well. That's my Paratilapia bleakeri. We won't home in on the hospital tank. That's never any fun. So in here we have my wife's lemon tetras. This is a 20 high. And then we've also got a nice little colony of albino Coriodoras. And then she's got a couple of leftover Martigé tetras too. Where are they is the question. I'm not seeing them this morning. Well, you can always tell my wife's tanks, they're always heavily planted. Fortunately, with my cichlids, I can't have such luxuries. And I'm sorry, I'm cruising through it. When I do a tour, guys, I got a lot of tanks to get through. So there's one of the Martigés right there. Well, he was out for a second. They're a cool tetra as well. Then next to this is another 20 high. This is my wife's little colony of cherry shrimps. She started this colony with about, I think it was 6 or 8 shrimp. Now she has 2 tankfuls of them. And as you can see, well seasoned, lots of plants, lots of cover. They seem to be thriving. This tank we don't do water changes as much as our fish tanks. For one, imagine trying to water change and have all these tiny shrimp that you have to sit and watch. We put a net over it, but we still don't like to screw with them as much. I would say there's probably close to a couple hundred shrimp in here at this point. She's getting ready to cull some again. And then she's got her snails. She likes her snails. But as you can see, we just got every size shrimp you can think of, babies in here and whatnot. And next to these guys, this tank, we will be moving these two probably this week. And as you can see, the thing is so cool. We have finally got this hairology the way we wanted it. And it is now just awesome breeding grounds for tetras. So we plan to put some of these more higher dollar tetras that we have in here. And these guys will be in a 20 high to finish. Now we're going to soften up the water and actually get serious about breeding these two. They lay eggs almost every week. So we're going to go ahead and anybody that's kept discus or bred discus, from the problem is that it takes a lot of work with the baby discus to keep them happy and healthy. So I did just get offered a position that I will announce at a later time, but I'd be Monday through Friday 9 to 6. But these are our babies. We love these two guys. In this tank, as of right now, we do have about 6 Stir-by Coriodoras in here, and then there's 1 yo-yo loach. I put the yo-yo loach in to get the snails out of here, but as you can see, he doesn't particularly like these snails. So I'm probably going to have to, I don't know how we're going to eliminate these, but before I put anything else in here, that's our goal. These snails are out of control, man. But yeah, we got this, just loving the hairology. We got it to grow out the way we wanted. So we're anxiously awaiting right there is just a huge piece of manzanita that is all attached to. So this will be a beautiful little tetra breeding ground eventually here. Can't wait. And then over here, I was able to finally, guys, I don't know if you saw my video, I did lose my bigger Killies. So So I did pick up, and this time I got a nice tight lid for them. I've got 6 golden keelies. Absolutely love this fish. So now we're going to be able to keep these guys in here for as long as possible. Then I do plan to put them in a bigger tank. Most likely be downstairs with the discus again, only I'll wait until I get the lids on there so I don't have to worry about this again. But these are a cool killifish. I've got 3 males and 3 females. All right, and moving along, this is the bedroom. So in the bedroom, the main spotlight in here is my, believe it or not, everybody thinks Kenny E is just into cichlids. This is my tank. I scaped it, I did everything. I put the plants, my wife's proud of me. This was my first planted tank that I've done. And anyway, nothing really great to look at, but in here I have the pencil fish. Then I also have a nice school of ember tetras. And I've got probably 15 of the pygmy cories in here. Unfortunately, guys, they like to hang out back in that stuff. Occasionally I'll see them at night, closer to nightfall. Maybe we'll get lucky, I'll go slow. Sometimes they hang over here. Yeah, there's some hanging there. There they are. Little pygmy coriodoras. I love them. If you guys have never kept them, they're super cool. These guys are about full size right here. So it's pretty cool. And then I picked up, he's nothing fancy, but I saw this little betta at one of our local stores. I just liked his color, so I picked him up. Nothing fancy, but he's got a lot of character, very interactive with me. My wife's got betta, so I wanted a betta of my own, so now I have one. Doesn't seem to mess with anything in here, and he enjoys the tank. The only squabbles I've seen is occasionally him and the pencil fish will get into it. So, anyway, then on the other side of the room, this is my wife's heavily planted tank. And in here she has 3 different types of coriodoras. She has queen loaches in here. And as you can see, her plants are just stellar in this tank. Nice piece of wood. This is basically the tank that got Daniken Aquatics off the charts and started moving with fish again. This was the very first tank we set up when we decided to get back into the fish keeping. This is a very well established tank. Got some cardinal tetras in here. I don't know where everybody's hiding today. That's the only thing that sucks when you have a heavy planted tank is you can never see anything. You can see the plants, so if you guys dig plants, there you go. But I'm a fish guy. I want to see the fish, man. Anyway, that's that. Show you my ugly mug while I move you to the bathroom tank. So in the bathroom tank, this is a heavily planted. This is her colony of scarlet red endlers. As you can see, gorgeous fish. She's getting ready to cull some because we have some more spitting unpure red. As you can see, that guy's got a bunch of blue in him. And she started this colony, I believe, with 4. So if you like endlers, there you go. Okay, moving into the living room. This one's one of my pride and joys. This is Drogon. He is my Haitian, or the common name Black Nasty. We've had him since he was a tiny little guy. He's in a 55 right now, and I'm getting ready to upgrade him again. as well as Susie down below here. I'll show you her in a second. But this guy has got quite the little attitude. One of my favorite fish that we keep. That is Drogon the Magnificent, I call him. And he's in a 55 long right now. And down below from him is Susie Q. This girl has a lot of attitude. She is a Trimax Cichlid and has a lot of personality. She's gotten into some bad habits, however. She has decided when it's time feels the need that she should have some food, she decides that she either 1A, grabs the heater and slams it against the tank, or she'll decide to grab that outtake of the filter and spit it out of the tank. We woke up the other morning with about 15 gallons of water on the floor because she decided that it was time to eat and decided to be a little destructive. She's got an attitude, as you can see, right now she's telling me off. I got this from a good friend of mine, Roger Newton. Thanks, Roger. I absolutely loving her. And she's another one that I would like to get into at least 100 gallon. Super cool fish. I can't put her with my Oscars. I would like to try it, but I just know, I can already tell she killed her mate that was twice her size. I'm not willing to sacrifice my Oscars because I have a feeling she would create havoc down there. So for now, she's in solitude in her own little 55. All right, and over here, this is our 120 gallon tall. The centerpiece in this tank are my Scalaris Wild Caught Peru Scalaris Angels. I got these from a good friend of mine, John Fish. And I kept up by end of the bargain. He gave them to me on one condition, that I don't kill them. I've had them for almost a year now, and as you can see, they're doing very well. Then we do have our smaller Geophagus savini in here. Have 4 of them. Anyone that follows my channel, I have a pretty good collection of these guys. I think we're up to 9 of them now. If you've never kept them, these are, in my opinion, probably the most gorgeous Geophagus out there. They get brilliant reds and blues in them. Then we do have a little colony of Sahicas in here. Gorgeous little fish. There's the big male in the back there. And then we have our Honduran red point colony in here. These guys are actively breeding. We need to get them into their own tanks. Probably set it up more for the breeding, because it's not fun trying to haul little babies out of a 100-gallon tank while other fish are trying to eat them. It's not any fun at all. But they're a cool little colony. These are probably some of the most underrated fish in the hobby, I believe. I mean, they're absolutely drop-dead gorgeous, easy to keep, and they breed prolific just like convicts. But they are gorgeous. Oh, and I did forget to show you guys my wife's beautiful little bowl. I got this for her for Valentine's Day, I believe it was. Or might have been Christmas. But in here she has a mono shrimp and then these cute little rice fish. So Pam at Punchy Paints, if you're watching, we keep rice fish as well. She's had this up for probably 3 months or so. She did a great job on the scape on this, in my opinion. But I might be biased. And I think this is a 20-gallon bowl, it's called. It's quite large. There's my hand to give you an idea on scale. And then moving right along, this is my dual side-by-side African cichlids. These are two 135 side by side built right into the wall. I'll give you guys the full angle. But in here I have lots of different species. I kind of prone towards the firefish and dragon bloods. I was breeding these for a while. Then I have my 5-star jewel in this one. And then I have a ton of these little cockatoo cats. If you're not familiar with this species, what this species is known for is when they see African cichlids doing their mating, they'll go in and sneak their eggs in to where they're spawning at. They'll hurry up and eat the cichlid eggs, and then the cichlid picks up their eggs in mistake, and they'll actually carry the catfish eggs in their mouth thinking they're their own. Cool little species of cat. Then I do have a breeding group of lemon yellows in here. This is my only Cachis I have left. We do have smaller ones in our 72, which I'll show you here shortly. Another albino dragon blood female. There is this is a dwarf giraffe cat. Absolutely cool cat. And there's my albino male that I use for most of my albino strains. And then there's another little Paratilapia bleakeri, our smaller one. Then we have all these zebra obliquians were all the females I had left. I didn't want to. A lot of people say cull them and feed them. I just can't do it to any of my fish. So they'll just live out the rest of their lives in here. They give good contrast of color with the rest of my Africans. Then there is one Tankanekan. I do plan to pull him and put him with the Tankanekans eventually. I've got him and then one other similar to him that's a little different colors, but little Leilupi. There's a big red-tailed shark. And I got a couple of common plecos in here and whatnot. So then next to that is the bigger African tank, and here I have some of the bigger hops and whatnot. There's my Venustus. I've got a VC10 right here, pretty good size. And I've got this big Venustus. Again, some more dragon blood spares. And I got my Malawi eye biters in here. My electric blue's not feeling too well. He got beat up a couple of weeks ago, and I healed him, and he still hasn't come back with his brilliant colors. He is an older fish at this point, so I think he might be getting up there in age. I'll probably give him another round of some meds. I might have to pull him again. I don't know, not sure what he got into it with, but he did definitely get into a pretty good spat with one of the fish in here. Got this rainbow shark in here. He gets along fine. He's probably a good 8-incher. Then we have a nice little colony of these little lace cats. I also got in here, I can never get him to come out for camera, guys. I'll at least show you where he hangs. This is an absolute gorgeous fish. Get out of the way, lace cat. In the back there, you can see his nose. I have a very large Synodontis dacaris. He's got these brilliant finnage. I do have a couple videos where I got lucky and was able to shoot him. If you follow my channel, I'm sure you've seen him. So that's the bigger 135. Then over here is my little breeding colony of dragon blood slash firefish slash strawberries. There's my big breeder male. Absolute stunner. Love that guy. Then I also have Cayugas in here as well. The male usually hangs out over there. There he is. Super, super cool fish. Cayugas are from Lake Victoria. And in here I also keep one more of those giraffe cats. As you can see, he's put some size to himself. He's getting big. I'm gonna have to check him out. Almost looks like nope, he's not stuck. He's just pretending like he is. Then I also have 4 red-tailed botillas in here as well. There's one over there. They're absolutely fast and they're very good at hiding, but there's his face. So that's that section. I got one more section in the upper level for you, and then I can end the video here. So this is the kitchen, we call it. In here, this is a 72-gallon bow front, and this is our Lake Tankaneekan tank only. So we have our albino brochardes in here. Some call it the fairy cichlid. Lailupi's. That one in the back there is a Lake Victorian species. We do have about 5 of those in here. The wet spot was nice enough to hook. They know I love different, so when they got these in, they did call me, and I have them. That's our only remaining Juliachromis regani. She's a stunner. And then we have the Tretas. And these little guys here, the silver ones, are, we call them cachis. And there's my black calvus. Gorgeous fish. There's this other one in the back there. But these Tretas are super cool. They remind me of Frontosa, only they don't. This is about as big as they're going to get. They stay smaller, which is cool. Then we got these little guys too. They like to hang out in the shells and whatnot. Then over here we have our little colony of we got both albino and regular mountain minnows. Cool little fish. This year I'm going to set up a pond for them out in the yard. Let them get some natural sunlight. Then in the tank next to that we keep our least killifish. My wife has a little colony of them. And they are tiny little guys, and I'm not seeing any today. See where they're hanging at. Don't look like I'm going to get them today, guys. I apologize. Next to that is my wife's little axolotl. She got 21 eggs from a Roger, and all 21 hatched, but unfortunately this little piglet here ate all of his brothers and sisters. So it didn't end well, and he did it in a day and a half. We weren't able to get the other ones out in time. So he's the last remaining one. Then in here, my wife has a couple of different betas. She got this from the Willamette Valley Aquarium Society, this cool little jug. The next to this is another little beta. That's him up there, or her. And then finally is this little beta tank here as well. She ordered some betas offline that we weren't real impressed with. We won't give names, but... So anyway, guys, that is the upper level of Daniken Aquatics. Next day or so, I'll give you guys a lower level tour. So as always, love your fish. This is Kenny E with Daniken Aquatics checking out for now. Y'all have a wonderful day.